I'm sharing my top 10 leadership books of all time. Today, I'm going to finish the list with numbers 8 through 10. Now, if you're just joining the conversation, in our session outline, I've included links to the other leadership training sessions so that you can see numbers 1 through 7. All right, number 8, Creating Your Personal Life Plan by Michael Hyatt. This ebook is meant not to be read through, but to be worked through like a workbook. The tagline is a step-by-step guide for designing the life you've always wanted. It is foundational for every leader to first start off with their personal life and create their vision, and then they can create their vision for their leadership and their business and so on. And this book helps you out. In fact, I'll tell you on a personal level, I went through this book and it helped me develop my life mission statement, which is equipping leaders for maximum influence. And subsequently, I designed my consulting company and this blog, Your Virtual Coach, based upon the help that I got from that book. So I highly recommend that you read it. It'll give you purpose and direction for having the life that you have always wanted. Here are a few of some of the highlights from this book. If we would only give the same amount of reflection to what we want out of life that we give to the question of what to do with 2 weeks vacation, we would be startled at our false standards and the aimless procession of our busy days. My goal is to make every encounter I have with my friends a perfect moment for them and for me. And then the man without a purpose is like a ship without a rudder. Number 9 on my list is Tuesdays with Maury. Now, this is based upon a true story. Mitch Albom, who wrote the book, at the time, he is struggling professionally and personally. He ends up getting reconnected with an old professor of his who is dying with cancer, whose name is Maury. And what ensues is a great story. And we are like a fly on the wall in the conversation as Mitch asks some of life's toughest questions. And Maury, who is this old sage with compassion, boldness, and perspective, gives some of life's valuable lessons that he shares as he is confronted with death. Here are some of my favorite quotes from the book. Business and law students today might look at Maury as foolishly naive about his contributions. How much money did his students go on to make? How many big-time cases did they win? Then again, how many business or law students ever visit their old professors once they leave? Maury students did that all the time. And in his final months, they came back to him, hundreds of them from Boston, New York, California, London, and Switzerland, from corporate offices and inner city school programs. I love that because it shows the influence this man had. Part of the problem, Mitch, is that everyone is in such a hurry, Maury said. People haven't found the meaning in their lives, so they're running all the time looking for it. They think the next car, the next house, the next job. Then they find those things are empty too, and they keep running. And then finally, still what I miss most, simple and maybe selfish as it sounds, is the twinkle in Maury's eyes when I came in the room. But when someone is happy, generally happy to see you, it melts you from the start. It's like going home. Those Tuesdays when I entered his study with the hibiscus plant by the window, whatever I dragged in with me, personal drama, work issues, burdensome thoughts, it was all washed away when Maury greeted me because he truly wanted to be with me. And then number 10, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team by Patrick Lencioni. This book, in my opinion, is a must if you lead a team or a group of people. In typical Lencioni fashion, which means he uses a parable story to get across his point of some of the dysfunctions or the pitfalls that every team will face. And he gives you perspective and a guide on how to turn an unhealthy team into a team that has a healthy culture and that is effective. Here are some of my favorite quotes from this book. Not finance, not strategy, not technology. It is teamwork that remains the ultimate competitive advantage. both because it is so powerful and so rare. The 5 dysfunctions of a team are absence of trust and vulnerability, fear of conflict, artificial harmony, lack of commitment, ambiguity, avoidance of accountability, low standards, inattention to results, status, and ego. As much information as is contained here, the reality remains that teamwork ultimately comes down to practicing a small set of principles over a long period of time. Success is not a matter of mastering subtle, sophisticated theory, but rather of embracing common sense with uncommon levels of discipline and persistence. So there you have it. We finished off my top 10 leadership books of all time. Here's today's game plan. I want you to create your own top 10 list of your favorite leadership books of all time. And then here's what I want you to do. Over the next 2 years, I want you to reread each one of them. I guarantee you'll be reminded of lessons that you learned in the past, and there'll be some new takeaways. That'll be great. Here's why I've been doing that. I don't ever want to be a person that is, as they say, an inch deep and a mile wide. I want to have depth in my leadership, and that's why I reread some of these books that are timeless and that are classics. Let me leave you with our tweetable lesson. A leader's reading is an outward expression of his inner aspirations.